sending Ted invoices, see if he pays out, you know.
That's a good idea.
It doesn't make any sense.
Your address on
I mean,
So,
there we go. We're in.
all
Pretty sad that you didn't even have our password in your computer. Todd,
right.
that's so sad.
Can give you a hard time.
He works from the UP.
Yeah. You probably sold more from the UP than you did from this office.
There's probably some truth to that.
No.
All right. Again, I'm gonna just be recording my screen because we had quite a few people sign up that they just wanted it via online, so they're following through that. We got a couple emails this morning too, people canceling just because of the weather, so they were wondering if it's going to be recorded so they can just check it out later. Yeah, so it's a great system. I think it was Tech Tour of last year that Dan Troop first started talking about it and brought it online for us. And it's we think it's a real advantage for us.
No.
I'll show you right where to get to it. I'll take you through that process, just so for those who are watching as well, they see how to get there.
Yeah.
But a great value. I think if you end up paying for this yourself, if you didn't provide it, it's around $400 for the year, $50. So, and it's incredibly useful, creates beautiful presentations, and the presentation mode, like for example, Ted, you got your iPad there. The presentation mode is great too, really nice, for when you're going through homes with clients or trying to help them in a listing conversation, help justify where good price range would be for their home.
I print everything now and bring like a binded report,
which is great too. I mean, if that if that works, both. Yeah,
you just look a little more up to speed if you've got your.
Hey, you're going paperless. You're helping the environment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, the first thing we want to show, if you haven't logged in before, what we need to do is you need to go into your lead street, and then over on the right-hand side, underneath the regional resources, there's CloudCMA.
Can I get to Lead Street through Main Street?
If you go to Main Street.
I used to have it saved on my laptop, and I just clicked on the button. So I'm starting. Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, click that. My leads. That'll take you there.
What did you push?
So right here, click My Leads, and that'll take you to your lead street. And then your screen should look like this. And then I've already logged in, so it won't let me go through the prompts. But once you click on CloudCMA, it'll take you through some prompts to get you signed up. So basically, you got to enter in your information, the basics there.
Your MLS.
Right, and so Southwestern Regional Information Center is what we're looking for in Michigan.
Upper Peninsula Association of Realtors.
That's you, man.
Right there, yeah. Southwestern Michigan Regional Information Center right there. You got it. Right. Perfect. Put your name, your info in there. I believe, I'm going to just go watch you guys as you go through the prompts. Because at one point too, you'll have to put in your login and your password for SwimRick. And when we do that, we're going to want to leave off the RIC dot off the beginning of it. I think we still leave the G and then the rest of it. So.
For our city, probably put our office city in there.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, get you all logged in. All right. Yep, that's you. You can add a profile photo if you want, or you can do that. You can come back and do that later.
Yeah, I'll do that later because I don't think I have it on this. Company name, Remax in Michigan. Should we change? Can I just change that to Remax in Grand Rapids? Or is it default to that? There's no way to change it. I'm just thinking for reports.
Go ahead and try to change it and see if it's going to let you do that.
Where is that?
So once you hit the big green button there. There you go.
Oh yeah, you can change that. Okay,
and
just
then
office address. Five
And
seven five
if
one.
you have a photo, you can put it in there. You can put it in there later too, just by going to your settings once you log in. Because this is the only time that you'll have to go through Lead Street to get in there. From here on out, because since Remax of Michigan is paying for us to have the system and covering it, that's why we have to go through this the first time. From here on out, once you have your login and password in there, you can just go to cloudcma.com and then you'll get logged in. So, okay, yeah, just add an office address, your website.
I think I can just do this. Oh, that ain't gonna work.
And then at the bottom of this page is where you see you're gonna add in your login and password for the MLS.
What's our BRE number? Is it like a broker number? It's asking for a BRE number right there.
That is a great question. I believe I left mine blank. But if it is the broker number, I have it right here.
We'll leave it blank. MLS user ID. Okay, that's where you leave the RIC off. So
Yes.
just the last or the first four of your last name. Okay, I see that. Or do you got to put the G in there?
And it's lowercase too.
Put the G in there, and then when we go to start searching for homes, we'll know right away if we have to go back and remove it. And I can show you where to do that.
Got it.
I believe we need the G.
And
So now every time you go into that field, which is called CMA, you don't have to do it.
okay.
So the
That's all
BRE number,
saved
you're
in
just
there.
leaving that blank at this point?
Sign.
Yeah, I have it here. I thought somewhere that I could give you guys, but
Then here they have two videos. you can watch.
what we'll do, John, is I'll just we can always look it up
Okay.
on my system, and we can load it in settings
Yeah.
once we're already logged in. But it shouldn't stop you from getting in there.
I just
No,
want to play around.
First thing that comes up when you click on that is detectives.
I don't have all those memorized.
Cloud CMA.
All right, and then for those who are watching online, in case you couldn't hear all of that, so we went in, filled out name and the information it was requesting, put a profile photo in there if you have one, and then down at the bottom of the second page through the prompts from Lead Street, make sure you log into your MLS, but leave the RIC dot off the front of your login, and that should get you set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and click CloudCMA, and that'll take me to it here. Now we're in. So that was the toughest part of creating a CMA on CloudCMA, is just getting into it. All right, so now that we're in the system, let's go ahead and create a CMA. We have several options here. We can create a CMA. We can create a buyer's tour, so basically presentations if you're going to go and show somebody a group of listings. We can work through that. Just a simple proper report, which is sometimes more based on just a single property for somebody who, if it's going to want to make an offer on something, it's just that simple, that one property we're evaluating. Sometimes if it's for listings, we're just doing a proper report on that, and then a property flyer. The CloudCMA is what we're going to focus on first here. These are all CMAs that were created in the past. They all get saved in here. A lot of these, which is kind of cool, and I'll show you how to do this, were all requested by clients of ours all on their own. It got sent to them all automatically, but then we get notified that they requested a CMA. So these may be people who are interested in knowing their home value, maybe somebody worth following up with and contacting to, if you haven't talked with them in a while, and see if, maybe they're starting to think about
What's my mom
selling
and
their
dad
home.
on there?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Just poaching clients all over the place.
Okay, I clicked on, now I'm in that same one you are, but I don't know. All I have is the video.
The video, and that's fine because you haven't created any CMAs
Right.
yet. What we're going to do is go over here on the right side and click that big button that says create a new CMA report.
Okay.
And we'll get into the system.
Under CMA.
So Over here on the left side, there's a slot where we can put in the client that we're creating the report for. And so I'm just going to put in a name here, and we're going to do this for, let's see, former client of mine. You can put notes in here. This is more for you. That's not going to appear on the report, but that's just if you want a reminder when you're going back to it about maybe what it was that you were searching for. Over here, we're going to put the subject property. So this is the property we want to evaluate. And we're just going to type in an address. You can see it starts to pull addresses. So once it recognizes one, you can click on it, pick any address at this point, maybe pick a property that you know you're listing currently or something along those lines. We don't have a photo, so we're not going to add one. You can choose to add a photo, like if you took a picture of the house when you left, or if you notice an old listing card and you want to put a photo in there.
Will it pull a photo off the old listing card or not?
This,
Save it probably, John.
so we'll show you, it's going to pull a bunch of photos off of listing cards that we look at for comparison properties, but I don't believe it's going to pull from an old listing card if there was one originally. You could go and get it from that old listing card and put it on here if you wanted to.
There's a way to save it. You like right click on the photo,
Okay,
save it
save it.
somewhere, and then go and grab it from where you saved it to.
You can select property type. We're just looking at a residential home here. This is optional, but if you know some of the basic information about the property, you can put that in here. I think this property was about 1,400 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms and it was 1 bath.
I guess it's up to you if you want to put the total finished square footage or just above grade.
Right, that's totally up to you. And really, that's just a rough description of that current property.
Yeah.
You know, if you have as much information as you want so that you can make the best comparison to the other properties, it doesn't matter if you put that in there or not. It's just you want to know that information, so as you're evaluating the properties that it's going to pull up, you can make the best comparison. So there's 2 ways that you can pull properties for comparison. One, you can, if you already did a search on the MLS for comparable properties and you have all the MLS numbers, you can type those in here and then it'll pull those up. The advantage of doing it in here and typing in those numbers is just the presentation is going to look a whole lot nicer than the CMA you would create on SwimRic. But that's an extra step too. So you're kind of using both systems that way. So the other way you can pull comparable listings is if you go over to this side here and on the right, automatically find listings near the subject property. I want it to find at least 10 listings. I'm going to go back 6 months. And then if I want to add some more criteria, here's where I can come in and say, okay, I want to try to get it close to what the property I'm looking at, 3 to 4. I want to do 1 to 2 baths. I'll go, whatever, 200 above, or 200 below and 200 above in square footage. I'll leave list price off, and then I'm going to click fetch listings. And now it's going to go out to the MLS and look for listings for me that match what I just put in, that simple criteria. So a little blue bar across the top here is just telling me it's searching for those. Yeah, there's some great things on your phone with this, and I'll show you those a little bit later today. There's some really cool things you can do.
CMA, it brought up MLS numbers that were in the 300,000 range, instead of 1204. It started with 339, and so they were so old that they weren't relevant. I just ran a quick one for myself today to see how to do it.
Right.
They were too old. So I was wondering if we could correct the date.
Oh, let's take a look at that on the mobile in a little bit. I think that's a great point. Pulls up a map of where all the properties are. For some reason, I have one in the South Atlantic Ocean over here. I'm guessing that's not correct. But most of the rest of them seem to be in Michigan.
Your yacht is so big that has its own address.
Evidently, yeah. So I'll have to talk to Troop about why I'm pulling properties from over by Africa. But
Gotta stop going on vacation every time I look on Facebook. This guy needs to get to work.
so here's all the here's everything that came up in the past 6 months. You can see right here summary of the listings. There's nothing active within the proximity of there. There's 2 that expired, 1 pending, 10 have sold, 2 have been canceled. Quick summary of the prices. Up here too, we get a quick summary of the average, the high, the median, and the low. Projected square foot value based off of these homes. But we don't know much about those homes yet because we haven't spent a lot of time looking at them. The system just pulled them all up for us. So now we can take a closer look and decide which one of these properties do we really want to include in our CMA. Right here, there is the details and adjustments tab. If you click on that, that's gonna give you more information about the property. You can also click on the photos and take a closer look at what condition that property is in so that you can compare it to the property that you're trying to price, and you can decide if you want to include this in your CMA or not. So if you want to remove a property you feel it doesn't fit the criteria, so let's say, for example, I'm going to get rid of this 1332 44th Street. The green checkbox right here, if I check that, fades that one out. That one's no longer a part of the report.
So you can't do a search on the MLS and then.
No, you can't.
You can, and that's so we can link our CloudCMA to our MLS account, and so that's something that will be cool too, because you can do a search on your MLS and then you'll go to CMA, and then you'll, instead of doing the regular CMA options you have there, CloudCMA will be an option.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then
I
you
just
export
did
it to
while
that.
He was talking, that's what I did. That's the route I took.
I
So it
think
doesn't-
Pat has done that way before.
Doesn't
too,
take
so.
any longer. It's
Right.
just-
Right, and then you get the nice looking report versus, you know, some of the ones that that Swimmer kicks out.
You're gonna really like it.
I'm gonna pick up my game here.
Because you're gonna bring a listing with you. Wait till you bring
It's a
that
good
nice.
thing, it's a good thing I'm your, now I'm your competition.
Uh-oh.
We both get the
There's
same.
there's plenty out there, John.
Yeah, there's
That's
plenty.
right, there's enough business for everybody, right?
More than enough.
We're just gonna be pulling it from other brokers.
Exactly.
Gaining that market share. So let's say we take a look at a property. I'm going to go into the details. Okay, I think this one is pretty comparable, but it has some, let's say it has some upgrades that our property doesn't. We can make adjustments to the price of what it sold for. So say we know that this one just had an upgraded kitchen, so we can put a note down here for the adjustment. So they updated kitchen. And now what we want to do here for the value is, it's kind of counterintuitive a little bit, because
It's like an appraisal.
yeah, so since we're comparing the other property and we feel this one has an updated kitchen, so it sold for a little bit more than the value of what our home would be, we're going to say, all right, we want to do a negative here. We want to take away from the value of this home. So let's say we take out $10,000 for whatever that kitchen was. I click the add button. Now it updates right here. I got the kitchen. I made an adjustment. And then also the price point up here on the top right corner of that listing now also jumped down 10 grand and has a down arrow right here indicating that I made a change to that downwards. And then same thing too, if our property that we know has some upgrades to it, we do exactly the opposite in this section and say, you know what, our property has the updated kitchen, so instead of doing negative 10,000, we do plus 10,000. It would adjust
You
the
have to
price.
put the plus in there also, or not?
No, you wouldn't have to put the plus in there.
You
Just
have
the
to put-
negative. If
just
you're
the
doing,
negative, okay.
Yeah. Good question. So we'll minimize that back down. So that's how you make adjustments to the properties. We talked about how you remove a listing from your CMA, you can also adjust the order of how these properties are presented. So when you're going through them with a client, you can adjust that. And this little section of dots over here on the left-hand side, if you just click on that, you can click and drag it to whatever position you want it to be in, the order. I'm going to get rid of some of these other ones. I'll get rid of the canceled ones. So those are out. I'll leave the pending one. And maybe I'll get rid of this property here. That's an outlier. Obviously, we'll be going in and adjusting just for the ones that we think fit. Again, taking a look at the photos. Maybe we already evaluated it on SwimRic and we know, but we can make all of those adjustments here. Any questions about just taking a look at the properties, how we make adjustments, or you find the additional information, how you move it in the order, anything? Pretty straightforward, right?
This is so much like Toolkit, really.
Right, yeah.
Same,
yeah.
just different layout. Except it's really right.
Except for that part.
Well, I'm sure it has some other features, but Toolkit probably doesn't have.
Right. Now up here too, say you get a good sense of price based off of that. You can suggest a list price. Right now, we haven't put anything in here. That can also be a range as well. If you want to put that in there to start, you could say, you know, I think this property should be 120 to 100. To 130, and that's fine. Click update, and that's just going to put it up here in the right hand corner, and then that'll also be part of the report. You can leave it blank too, and there'll be no suggested price up there. It's totally up to you.
It's always a range for me.
That's fine for me too.
You know, you can't say exactly.
Well, and it's important to, you know, when you think about a range of pricing, there's so many things that come into play, and eventually the seller has to, you know, make that choice. But it's like, how fast, what are their goals
Get
for
out
the
of time
sale?
now price.
Right. Yeah. There's all these different things. What's the competition on the market right now? Where do we want to position ourselves against the competition? So if we can get that quick sale, or no, we're willing, you know, we're not in a rush. Maybe we want to try to be on the higher end of, but still within that appropriate value range. So there's decisions still to be made when you go and meet with them. We're going to customize the report, so we'll click that big button. Now here's where we have lots of cool options here. So RE/MAX of Michigan has added a bunch of additional material that we can go and add to the report, and really to make it custom to you. So you can also decide what's important for you to share with your clients, and you can change it even per client. You think sometimes some clients going to want to know more information about certain things than others, and you can add those things right now. Over here on the left side, that's where all this information is. So for example, RE/MAX of Michigan put in all of these additional items of interest. So market share graph, regional snapshot. They're adding the 2015 numbers. So basically they're showing that we're still number one. If you want to put in a Children's Miracle Network page, if you help with those. And so just a ton of great information. I'll show you what this information looks like just based off of another report I did where I just dumped everything in there. Because the one thing that's a little difficult with this, if you don't do that and kind of peruse all that additional material on your own, there's no way to see what this material looks like right now when you're adding it. So
You can't preview it.
No, you can if you just add it all and print out one report and keep it handy.
Send one to yourself.
right. But it's super easy to add things. So basically, if I want to add something, I just hit this plus button. It's going to jump over to my report here. And then again, if I want to move that position, I just grab it and drag it to wherever I want it to be in terms of the order of my report. If I want to take something out, I don't want to have, I want to take that market share graph back out. I just hit the minus sign. It jumps back over to the left side, and it's removed from my report. You can go through and you can edit your own cover letter, your resume. You can talk about the company. If you want to add client testimonials, you can click on these and you can add that right in. this text box here, click save, and then it'll be added to your report. So
So I have on here also my ratings and reviews on Zillow. Does that automatically pull them?
So this, I think we're gonna have to go through and we'll have to link it, but yes, it will pull, you can pull your Zillow reviews into this. But we do have to link it.
I added it this morning and it didn't do it automatically.
Okay. So, and I'll show you where there's some information about what you have to pull into Zillow in order to link the two. So click save and go back. Saved, okay. Why is it not taking me back to, oh, it opened up a new page. There we go. So again, really easy to add things, take things away, change the order. Other things of note, so on this side here, here's your headlines. You can change what it's titled as. It's a great question. You can do it in Spanish, right?
Yeah. It's the only two languages, English and Spanish.
Here are, I just clicked on theme right here, so Remax of Michigan.
Runs.
So they've loaded it in automatically for us, things that are branded Remax. And so this is what a lot of the pages look like. You can use this theme. There are some other ones. Basically, it's just changing the color. I highly recommend going just with the Remax.
You don't want to use Greenridge colors.
Exactly. And then we have the layout. So here, when we take a look at, we pulled all those properties from the MLS. Now we get to choose a little bit about how those are displayed within the report. So you can do a photo with a map with a description, 2 photos, photo with the most amount of information. You can do all these different things. You can put multiple properties on a page. You can compare properties right on the page. So you get to decide what's the best way to present the information.
Do you have any feedback on that from your clients? What they like the best?
No, I really haven't gotten a lot of feedback on what they feel is the best one. You can choose too how many photos you want it to pull. So like it'll pull the first 12 photos or only the first 6 or pull only 2 because that's all I really care about. So you kind of have to decide and make it work for when you're thinking about if it's for a listing appointment, what do you want to be able to talk through with them? How many photos are you going to be showing them? Do you need to justify based on condition of some of these other properties in order to compare? Then you're probably going to want to show more photos to help talk them through that. So let's say we have everything that we want in here. All we have to do in order to create that final report is click publish. Now up over here, I have my new report that's being published in just a few minutes, or well, not even, just a few seconds. It should complete, and then we can take a look at the actual report and see what we put together. All right. Green check mark means it's ready to go. We have several options here: view, present, email, share, and we can also edit it. So once we take a look at it, if we don't like quite how it turned out, we can go back in and change some things. So let's take a look at it. Just give it a second to pull up. It is a larger document, so it may take a second because it's pulled all that information together. There we go. Zoom out just a little bit. Oops, not that much. Let's see if it'll let me. So I didn't have a photo, so it picked a photo from the map. Here's its client that it's for, the date it was done. I don't have my resume filled out, which is pretty obvious there, but here's some of those additional materials that Remax has provided. So the value of your home, and this just talks them through a little bit about how value is determined and how it's different for everybody. Why Remax, if you want to choose to do that one. A little promotion there. Now we have a map of all those listings that are going to be included and a quick summary of those addresses.
On the page that's the contact me page, do you have that up on yours? They've got Remax's location on a map there, and it's on the wrong side of the street.
Oh yeah,
The pin is out over by Metro Hospital.
that's not good.
On our side of the street.
It's another thing for Troop. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. We don't want people driving over to Metro looking for you. Summary of comparable properties right here. That lays that out, and you can choose to have all of these things in or out of your presentation. Then we get into the property details. Here's an expired one, 2 photos, and then here it pulled the listing photos for me.
That's nice. Toolkit
So that-
did not do that. If you can believe it.
No, it
No.
wouldn't pull the photos.
Just the front photo.
So this is great because then you can try to talk through some of those conversations about comparing the condition, the amenities, features of each property versus the subject property you're meeting about. So all of those properties kind of laid out the exact same way. This is going to be a pretty long document, and so that's why you also have to choose what makes sense for you. So here's one we made a price adjustment on, so it kind of details that out so you can talk through it. And then we'll just get to the end here.
Yeah, this would be simple.
There's no way to get
User
to that
friendly.
quickly.
It's got to set some stuff up.
So here's just a summary on statistics if you want to jump ahead to that. If you know you're meeting with a real numbers person and that's all they care about, you can talk through that. That's right. That's right.
Is there a quick way to jump through the doc, or do you have to just scroll?
Depending on what viewer you're looking at, you can just type in the number of the page that you want to, or you can skip per page. And a lot of it too is if you go back to, so let's say we're going back to our report, we can choose to go back and edit and then remove things. I could go back to listings and be like, you know what, I just had too many listings in there. I'm gonna get rid of some more and shorten that up. So I'll get rid of, you know, these 2 because they just don't seem to fit the best. And you know what, I really only want to talk through 4 of them with them because I feel those 4 fit the best. If we need to pull up more, we can take a look at that if they're not convinced from that. But that'll just simplify things as we're having our conversation. So I'm going to get rid of all those. And all we need to do is go back to publish, and then it's publishing again, and we'll get a brand new report.
So as long as we're the ones that are grabbing listings and exporting them, then we're in control of what they're seeing.
Absolutely. So with that, now,
Do the quick, then we're not in control of what they see.
so yeah, if you do it this way, customer, you're in control of what they're seeing. Now there is another version which I'll show you where it's basically you send an email with an address and all that to CloudCMA, and then that'll automatically generate a report for you. This is kind of if you're in a pinch and in a hurry, and you don't have anything, and you're driving to the house right now. This will get you that. This will get you at least something, right? Which is better than nothing that you can walk through it. And so we'll cover that next. There's a quick 1-minute video that I'll show that kind of covers that feature, which is pretty cool. There's also presentation mode. So if I click present on there instead of view, that takes me to the presentation mode. And so this is where it's great on your tablet because now you can swipe through things. So have some fun with that. Get to know how that works. I got to click the arrows over here, but nice, clean, simple. Here's all of the properties that are in the report. I can click on those and it takes me to which one it is. And now I can go through and take a look at all of these properties in order, or I can click down. This one only has the 1 photo, I believe. If I go here, hopefully there's more photos. So now I have more photos in the presentation mode. And I think this is really well presented as well, maybe even more so than
Pretty awesome.
the actual report.
I used to print all the photos out from the MLS and then have them with,
Yeah.
because Toolkit didn't allow you the photos, and that really makes a difference, especially if you got a trashed house that you're gonna be listing, and oh, the neighbors sold for that, but the neighbors is pristine, you know?
Right.
That's-
Right.
That, I always print out the photos when I go, just because, I mean, the last one that I did on Abbey Lane, you know, they're saying my house is so much better. Well, look at the photos of your neighbor next door. How do they look? Oh, that's not bad. You know, I mean, so it makes,
You gotta have.
It helps so much. Sometimes people just need to see those images and then they self-discover, you know, that, oh, and then they realize, and then it makes your job a whole lot easier. But this is really nice because the photos become nice and big. Gives you the quick, brief information. Hey, this one's pending. It was listed at, 169.9. Here's how it compares beds, baths, square footage. Let's take a look at the interior. How is it updated compared to yours? Click on a photo. You can scroll through to the next ones. So, and again, if you're on your tablet, all this is just swiping to get you to the next thing. Swipe up to see all the photos, swipe side to side to go to the next listing. So I really like the presentation mode.
That's pretty sweet. Commission distribution chart.
So I'm going to pop back over to our report. And then you can choose to either right from here, you can email that. If that's how you choose to communicate with them, if you're going to meet with them, you can do either view and print it out, or you can do the presentation mode and just bring it along with you and go through it on your system. The share, basically this is sending them a link instead of sending them a file, so you can copy and paste that link directly to an email or however you want to provide it to them. So, any questions about just that report? So, all of the other ones work, property report, flyer, buyer tour, all work the exact same way in terms of inputting the information. So nothing's different there. It's just basically the output looks slightly different. And so I'll let you guys, just for the sake of time, experiment with that a little bit on your own. We can spend some time afterwards if you want to go through each one of those individually. I do want to show a couple other things. The first one is just this video about creating reports with email. And I apologize to those watching from YouTube because I believe this video will not show for you on the recording of this, but it's right on the front of your home page once you log into CloudCMA. So she is loud, so be prepared. We'll see if we need to see where my volume's at.
she's excited. So where did you find the video? Top right.
It's on the home page.
Go right back. If you go,
Right
yeah,
page.
click
Get
home,
started.
creating reports with email.
Okay. Got it.
So let's see how loud we are right here. I'm gonna get the remote ready.
Hi, I'm Michelle with WNR Studios, and I'm here to tell you about CloudCMA's most popular feature, the one-click CMA. Did you know that you can create any CloudCMA report by just sending us an email? That's right. You're literally one click away from a great CMA. Now that you can send reports on the go, you no longer need to tell your clients that you'll get back to them when you get to the office. It's really easy, and here's how you do it. Step 1, write an email to cma@cloudcma.com. Step 2, put your client's name in the subject field. And step 3, put the address of the subject property in the body of the email. Now click send, and that's it. In less than a minute, your CloudCMA report will show up in your inbox. In the email will be a link to a live PDF where you can review it and send it off to your client. Your clients will love the blended information and readability of their reports. Most of all, they'll be blown away at how fast you delivered it. Just send us an address, and CloudCMA does the rest. Let's recap. For a CMA, email cma@cloudcma.com. For a buyer tour, tour@cloudcma.com. For a property report, property@cloudcma.com. And for a flyer, flyer@cloudcma.com. Thanks for listening, and remember, with CloudCMA, sales are looking up.
So just go to your, you don't have to be in CloudCMA, you just gotta be in your email browser. and
Right.
Email those and throw the addresses in from your
Right.
phone. Wow, pretty slick.
But,
Curious to see what they look like.
well, and that's where I found that they used old listings.
Yeah.
You know?
So you just gotta let the people know that, hey, look, I can do a lot more in-depth and detailed one, but this will just give you an idea.
Yeah, this is the quick and dirty one. It's
Yeah.
just gonna pull what it thinks
It'd be nice
match
if
it
there
the
was some
best.
defaults that we could set for that.
Right. Which unfortunately right now you can't do that because it's just going out to the system and it's pulling what was within a certain area of it that's going to be
Is it pulling
similar.
from Flex or from Zillow?
It's pulling, all of these are pulling from the MLS. So, but again, just so review, it's the 2 is the CMA at CloudCMA, subject line is your client's name, and then the address is in the body of the email. I mix those up sometime and it doesn't work very well then. But pretty cool. And the nice thing too is if you do that, maybe it's just a starting point too. Then you could come back and sit down at your computer later and
Yeah.
edit something out that makes more sense for you.
I'm gonna go home and impress my wife with that.
I like it even more so too for just if it's just a quick property report, because then you don't get so the tours enter the MLS numbers in the body and then it'll pop up all those properties. But if we jump ahead, the property report's kind of nice just if somebody wants more information about a property right away, then that'll pull it from the MLS. You can go into your Flex MLS app on your phone too and send it to them from that. But if you want to send it in this format, that's just a little bit nicer presentation, then you can pull it up this way and email it to them.
So will it pull a current listing then? If it's listed?
Yeah, it'll pull whatever the most current.
What information is on there as far as your information? I mean, if they are calling about a property that's not your listing, I'm sure the listing, if you send it from Swimmer,
All right, we'll do
the
that.
listing information is gonna be on there of the other agent. If you send it this way, whose information is on that?
It's a great question. I believe it's ours, but we should double check.
Okay.
I'll do
We
it
should
right
try it right now. All right,
Yeah,
Ryan's gonna try it for
Somebody
us.
email me
now.
one.
Property at CloudCMA.
Yep, property at CloudCMA. Find a property that's currently listed.
All right.
Todd's
So
your client.
under subject, are we still putting somebody's name?
So subject is still the client's name, and then the address is in the body of the email.
Could you?
So while you guys are trying that, I'm gonna go to, and let us know what ends up happening. I'm gonna go to one other thing. Because I think this is pretty cool too.
Right.
Up here in the upper right, we have the settings tab. If we click on settings, it's gonna pull this up. Here's where if you need to update anything, your company logo, photo, any of that is all underneath your settings. But I like this lead generation tab, and I always point this out to everyone. Now, along with CloudCMA, part of what they provide is, and we've all seen them before when people are advertising what's your home worth. Basically, it's a website where you can go in, you type in your address, and then it spits out a report to those people of here's what your home is worth. Well, now you all have one of those websites automatically because you are part of CloudCMA. So this one's mine. So right here, here's the link to what's my home worth website. If I grab that, I'm just going to put it up here and paste that URL so you can see what it looks like.
How did you get to that point?
So go back one more time. So I went under,
Missed that.
so I went under my settings,
Right?
and then right here, this lead generation.
Okay.
Click on that, and then second text box down.
Yep, got it.
You can see right above here too. So use this key in apps like Zillow, Tech to Connect. So there's a little video that helps explain how to connect your Zillow.
So you get your Zillow reviews on here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Here's a stupid question for you. You have Apple, you have an iPad?
Mhm.
How do you highlight stuff on an iPad?
Usually if you click and hold, so where are you at right here? Just
Yeah.
hold it.
Maybe click give you the books. Of course, it doesn't online.
There we go.
Oh.
Select all.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right.
Dave, on the quick,
Outstanding. Thank you.
on the quick report from your phone, when you want to do a property report, I put everything in. How does it send it to him?
It sends it to you first, so you can take a look at it, make sure that you
Then I forward it.
like all the information, and then you just forward the link on to Todd. So yeah, right here in lead generation, that second text box, I just copied and pasted it into another window. Basically, this is what it pulls up. Doesn't look like a West Michigan home very much right there, but here's where you can put in your property address, locate property. We'll just put in, I think, the one we were looking at before.
Where did you go to get to where you're at now?
So I took,
You copied and pasted.
yeah, I just took this,
Yeah.
grabbed it, and then I went to just a new window, copied and pasted up there, and hit enter.
Okay. Pay attention.
Did it pull it up for you?
Just 1 second. I'm not that fast.
I'm trying to figure out how to open up another window and paste on this. I know I can do that. I can double
Me too,
click
yeah.
and it opens up windows, but they're already something else.
Here's where you're in.
Yeah.
And that. Okay, yeah, let's hide your keyboard.
Oh, that's how you do that. Okay.
So,
You've already copied it for me. Oh, I can do that.
I'm going to-
Sorry.
Browser are you in?
I'm in Google.
Okay.
Or,
So,
okay.
That's a great question. I would have thought it would have been over here, and you could,
I could open in Safari.
if you want to, that'd be fine.
I mean,
See what it does.
It'll
And
at
in
least give
Safari,
me,
yeah, you just add the plus for adding a new one, but copy and paste it up here, so just hold up here.
It did already. Oh,
Let's get rid of that.
paste and go.
Paste and go. Yep, there you go.
Thank you.
So just type an address in there. And now this isn't something that we would typically be doing, but we would be sharing this web address with customers, or we would take an image that we put on like a Facebook ad or on our email newsletter, and we would link that image to this website so they could click on that image. It would take them here. They type in their address, whatever it is. Okay, property. Okay, is this, here's it's going to put a dot on where that property is. Is that your property? Where should we send the report? They got to type in their name and at least their email. So I have that contact information, and then click send it to me. Now they'll get basically that quick and dirty CMA report that we would be doing, like if we did it on our phone or anything like that. But what's cool is now once this gets sent to them over in my CloudCMA, in my CMAs, see how it just popped up here? Hey, Dave Velkamp, sent to Dave Velkamp at Remax at remax.net. So it's not quite finished yet, but that gives me an update that, hey, so-and-so wanted to know what their property was worth. Maybe I want to get a hold of them. And then I can also look at what the report was that
So
was
how
sent to
do
them.
you actually, this is kind of elementary, but how do you actually put that on like Facebook, that link?
Sure. So all you want to do, so like I said, let's go to Facebook.
Time is off on mine by 3 hours.
What's that?
The time that it shows that it was sent is off by 3 hours.
Oh,
Or if it's Pacific
California.
time.
So what I would do is, I'd probably end up adding a photo of a nice house. but I don't think I have one of those ready. So we're just going to go down to, we'll choose that one.
So what are you doing?
So John was just wondering if I was going to put this on Facebook, what would I do? You know, I put, you know, curious what your home is worth. Find out here. And then I could paste that link right here, and then they can click on it and go to it. It'll bring them to that website. And then I'm sure there's a way I can link this image to it as well. What we do is we'll do Facebook ads, and I'm not, well, I think I can go to create and manage our ads.
I didn't even know you could do this. You were talking about ads yesterday on the webinar you were doing, and I'm like, I thought you were talking about just posting on Facebook. So that's a whole new venue, and it can be pretty cheap.
It is very cheap.
It is. So
You could advertise, put your ads on there for pennies.
Plus, you can even target market it. Look like
Pat always did that for the balloon festival. She advertised like in Muskegon and all over.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, how many people clicked on it? And but yeah, it's very.
right. So I can go into our account, and maybe we'll do this later, but promote, and we go to ads manager. They changed the way it looked a little bit. So there's different ads in here that I could start, and then I can link that ad back to that URL. That's a whole nother webinar. I can spend a few minutes with you doing that.
I would be very interested
So
in this whole
that-
Facebook ads.
That
how you
would
set that
that would
account
take
on.
more than a few minutes for me, Dave.
Well, we can go through and do that because there's all sorts of things you can do once you start diving into this. Because like figuring out, you know, targeting different demographics, targeting certain locations, all these different things, targeting people who just got engaged. I mean, all these different things that we have all this information because everybody shares their entire life on Facebook, and so Facebook collects all that information and then uses it for targeted advertising. So, but what we also like to do is that report. So if I go back here, that lead generation, this website, we like to include it on, we both were at the MailChimp email newsletter. We'll put that at the bottom of our newsletter, and we send it out to all our clients and give them the option to click on that and find out what their home is worth. Maybe they've been there for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and they're curious and they've been thinking about moving, but they just, you know, haven't been up to date on what's going on.
Can you put it in
Market.
an email signature?
Absolutely, you can go and link. So if you're, all you need to do is you can either paste that link, or what email service do you use?
Gmail.
Yeah, so in Gmail, if you drop an image in there, you can link that image to it as well. So, and there's basically, if you just click on that image in your Gmail, click the link button at the bottom of your email that you're set up, paste that URL in there. Or you could do this, and I'll just go to my Gmail really quick. So I'm going to compose. So if you just, this is your Gmail, this little link button down here, I can click insert link. And now, I don't know if I saw it copied and paste. So this is what down here, the web address is what, where I want it to go, but I can choose what it looks like, what the text is in the email. So it's like, find out what your home is. Or I could put click here to. So now it's going to be linked there, but it's not that big long URL that, you know, doesn't mean anything to anybody. All it says is, you know, at the bottom of your email, click here to find out what your home is worth. So, or you could do that to an image. You could pull an image in here and, you know, say, for example, instead of this taking me to Facebook, I could change this link and have it, I could have an image of a home down there or a title block or whatever it is that says, find out what your home is worth. Super easy, but a great marketing tool that comes free. And so a lot of people use those.
It's free, but you're paying for it through your Remax,
Right.
you know, so,
Right.
but Remax is providing it for
So
it.
take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
$20,000 a year.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, take it.
It can make you, if it can make you $20,000 a year,
Oh, easily.
then Remax is free.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Couldn't agree
So-
more. That's why I'm still sitting here.
What?
That's why I'm still sitting here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's what we're happy you're here. If you want to, there's a few other things here too. The system goes on and on what you can do with it, but working with your Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, if you do all that, there's videos that are really, really good in explaining how you can use these other tools that are in here.
Yeah,
So-
me too.
Missed it.
Wow,
Okay.
That's
really
it.
cool stuff,
That's
man.
CloudCMA.
That's very awesome.
I'm gonna shut down the Hangout for everybody, and if you guys have